Hey, what's going on, everyone? Today I want to show you my most recent little project, and this also will highlight for you the powers of real estate. So this is my little project, little triplex that I just completed. And today I'm going to walk you through how it works and why I've been investing in real estate and the power of real estate. So I use a model that's also known as the Cash-Out Refinance, otherwise known as BRRRR. The acronym BRRRR. And BRRRR stands for Buy, Rehab, Rent, Refinance, and Repeat. So what that means is you're going to buy a property typically below value, something that needs some fixing up or some upgrading, or you can increase the rents or something that you can add value to. You're then going to rehab it. So you're going to fix it up, or you're going to manipulate the expenses and the income to make the property generate a higher net profit, making the property more valuable. You're then going to rent the property out, get an appraisal done, go to the bank with that appraisal and prove that the value of the property is what it is, and say, hey, look, I got a $100,000 asset. I'd like to get a mortgage on this property, which is typically the bank will give you 75% loan to value. If done correctly, you'll be able to pull all your funds out and rinse and repeat it. So let me walk you through how I've done this and the property that I've done this with. So over here is 37 Victoria. This is my most recent triplex. So I bought this back in April. This is a cheap little deal. These are the ones I just do for fun. These are little home runs, I guess, if you want to call them that. Purchased the property for $40,000. Yes, the property was initially on the MLS for $64,900. Okay, so this property sat on the market for about 124 days, and this property was just absolutely disgusting on the inside. Let me show you some photos. I ended up walking through this one, and I mean, no one would buy this thing. You're wondering why prices are so low and how I found a triplex for $64,900 and ended up paying $40,000 for it. Well, these photos will justify that. Absolutely destroyed. All the walls were ripped out. There was knob and tube wiring. So good luck getting insurance on this. If you don't get insurance on it, you're not going to get a mortgage on it. The inside was absolutely disgusting. Like, as you can see, these people just left it trash. There was food everywhere. Completely garbage. Like, there was water stains and all sorts of shit all over the property. Just completely trash. You can hardly even walk through some of these units. And these are the ones you're looking for. These are where you find money in these things. Most people think it's disgusting and they won't even touch it, but this is where you make money. Let me see if I can pull up a video here of me walking through this one. So hopefully you can see that. You can see there's just garbage and shit everywhere. So basically what happened here, it's an owner who thought that they were a real estate investor and thought that they were professional and decided to get into this, and they're absentee. So they live at a distance. They have no idea what the inside of the property looks like. It's been vacant for months. They just want to fire sale this thing, and that's where you get these prices that low. All I did was get property inspection done, highlight all the shit that's wrong with it, the knob and tube, the holes in the wall, the garbage, and send it to them and be like, hey, look, this property is completely destroyed. I'm setting this just for your own information that, this needs a lot of work. So, and I got some quotes done. I sent it to them. I said, look, in order for me to purchase this property, we have to meet in the middle on these renovation costs, because this is going to cost me $30,000, $40,000, whatever the number was to fix it up. So that's how you get them to come meet down in the middle. And I paid cash. So these are one of those properties that you could pretty easily pay cash for. You can get a Visa with a $40,000 limit, and you could put this property on it. You can get a line of credit at 8%. You could buy this property for $40,000. You can go get money from your brother, sister, friend, relative, whoever. This is an easy one to do. So I paid $40,000 for the property. There was some closing costs, some corporate setup fees, legal fees, land transfer tax, inspection, that sort of stuff. The renovations, you can see over on the right-hand side here, these were all the different things that I had done to the property, fix it up. I mean, majority of it was electrical. I got quoted like somewhere around $12,000, which is a third of the renovation budget, just to get this thing up to standard and up to code. And we did some more fixtures and stuff like that. It made it look pretty nice. The rest of it was just simple stuff. They did like 6 trips to the garbage dump. That cost about $1,500. All new fire rating doors, got to live up to the colonial doors. I mean, it's a house built in the 1913 or something like that. So you want to play up to the character in it. Did all new renovations in all the units except the third one. The third one was really just some paint and trim, but the other ones needed some hardcore fixing up. About all in, I was $35,725 was the total cost of this renovation. Let me show you some photos of after. So you saw what it looked like before. And here are the after photos. So you can see how just a little bit of paint and some trim goes a long way, and some light fixtures. You can just brighten the unit right up. So all new tub surround, just cleaned everything out. I mean, just a few $100, probably spent $1,000 in each bathroom. And by the way, each unit is all 3-bedroom. They're 3-bedroom flats, 1 bathroom in each. And by the way, these rent out pretty good. So I'm getting, for the 2 units, I'm getting $950 a month, but I'm paying for heat and electricity, which works out to about $150 to $200 a month. Bottom unit is $750 a month, but the tenants pay for electricity and hydro. So let me just continue here through the photos. You can see, like, all we did was just clean out all the garbage, patch all the holes in the wall, update some of the light fixtures in the bathrooms and the kitchens, just small minor stuff, and then just put all brand new trim in. We refinished the hardwood. So instead of dropping a bunch of money and doing vinyl and laminate floors and going all HGTV, you could save money by just refinishing the hardwood floors. And you can see it's nice. It's a nice home. I'd have no problem living in there myself. Nothing like the one before. So basically, you see what it looks like. That's a finished product. Current rents, it brings in $2,550 a month, which equals about $30,000 annually. You subtract the vacancy and all your typical expenses that come along with owning property. So you get your net income, which is $1,280 a month. And I haven't put a mortgage on this yet, but I'm now in the process of getting the refinance pulled out. And after the mortgage is on there, I will have $860 a month, which is $10,323 annually in cash flow. So that is after all expenses. That is in my pocket. So how this BRRRR strategy works and why and how I've been able to acquire numerous amounts of property is through this very method. So what happens is I buy the property for $40,000. I will put in $35,000 into reno. So I'm all into this property for $75,000. This property then, after I fix it up, and obviously you have to run your comparables and see what other properties in the area are selling for based on the income that they make or on the comparable sales, which is an apples to apples, similar type of property. Right here, I had the appraisal done after the property's all fixed up and rented out. The appraisal came back at $90,000. So basically I take this asset that has been poorly managed and I'll renovate it, which will allow me to get better tenants in there, increase the rents, lower the expenses, and create a much better product. And essentially all I'm doing is just restabilizing the asset. This will then allow me to get the appraisal done on it, and an appraiser will come in, a professional appraiser comes in for about $400, and they'll tell you the value of your property. And you can almost get down to the T about exactly what they're going to reappraise your property for. And there's certain metrics for that, and I can make a whole other video on that. But basically, you can just ask a local appraiser out for coffee, ask them how they do their job, ask what you're looking to do, be like, hi, I'm looking to turn a property into X. Can you tell me what comparables are selling for in the area? And so on and so forth. You can ask them what the cap rates or comparable sales, or you can ask them all those sorts of questions. I'll make another video on that. But typically what you want to do, get that appraisal done, and then they will either do it from an income approach, since this is a triplex. So anything from 4 units and under is considered residential. Anything from 5 units and above is considered commercial. So what that means is that a commercial property will go off the income that the property generates. It doesn't matter if an apartment block down the street sold for way less. Your apartment block is valued at what its income produces, and the multiple of that in the area, which is called the cap rate. You can search that up. For comparable properties like triplexes and duplexes and single family homes, they're only worth what comparable properties have sold nearby. So for this property, comparables have sold for about $90,000. But since the income is so strong on this thing, because I've been able to get such high rents because of the renovations and because I've been able to lower my expenses, the value is $128,000. So typically the bank will take the lesser of the value. But I was able to make a strong argument and say that this building has a very strong debt service coverage ratio, which is 3.0. The banks only look for 1.25, 1.15. So I was able to say, look, that this building services debt extremely well. It has a very strong financial statement. Is there any way you could give more weight to the income approach, which is $128,000? So they were able to meet me in the middle, somewhere around $105,000. So basically, I'm all in for 75 grand. I then go to the bank and say, look, I got a $105,000 asset. I want a 75% loan to value on this. So the bank is giving me 79 grand. And then the difference between that 79 and the 105, which is the value of the property, stays in there as the down payment. So like I said, I'm in for it for 75,000. The bank is giving me a check for 79,000. I'm getting all my money back plus an extra few grand. So essentially, I'm getting paid to buy this property and do the things that I do to it. And then I get to hold on to the property after I get all my cash back. And then I'm still making $10,000 a month in free flowing cash flow. That then allows me to take that 79,000 and then put it into another property, which I've already got under contract. It's a 7 unit. I'm going to do the exact same thing. So technically, this allows me to buy property continually and just snowball it up. And every time you pull money out from a refinance, when you pull out equity, that is tax free. So that $79,000 that I get is completely tax free because I'm drawing on my own equity because it's debt. They don't teach you that stuff in school. So you take that money, you roll it into another property, and you just keep the whole thing rolling. I can show you just some of the basic projections on how this looks from a long-term standpoint. So you can see after the 5-year mark, 10-year mark, 15-year mark, where the cash flow is going to go. You can see down below the loan balance as it decreases because my tenants are paying down the loan for me and the value of the property is going up. So the equity in that property is getting greater. You're essentially planting little money trees. All you got to do is just water them and let these things grow over time. And that's pretty much how I've been able to acquire the properties that I have, is simply using this model. You buy undervalued and mismanaged assets, you improve them. So you either make them look better through renovations, which is kind of like flipping, or you increase the value of the property and the income that it generates by either upping the rents through strategic renovations or through lowering the expenses, such as a few little magic tricks that we have to make the expenses lower and get better rates on insurance premiums and taxes and stuff like that. And then you essentially rent it out and you prove that the property has its new value by the new rents that it brings in, and you get it appraised. You then take that appraisal to the bank and say, look, I got an asset here. I want to give a typical mortgage or a typical commercial loan on this, and take the money out and go buy another one. So that's pretty much how it works. Thanks for watching.